Ever wondered why the most spiritually gifted, the deeply loving, the awakened souls often walk this world alone? Chosen ones. Here's a question that'll shake your spirit. Could your divine calling be the very reason you're destined to walk solo in this lifetime? There was a woman named Eden. Beautiful soul, bright aura. She loved deeply, prayed even deeper. She could walk into a room and pick up on energies like a human tuning fork. She could sense lies behind smiles, pain beneath laughter. But no matter how many people she met, no matter how sincere her efforts in love were, relationships kept crumbling. One partner told her she was too deep. Another said she made him uncomfortable, like she could see right through him. Eden eventually stopped trying. People couldn't handle her light. Sound familiar? Now here's the bold truth. Sometimes your anointing is too heavy for the average to carry. Chosen ones, you are not cursed, you are consecrated, set apart. That's why your love life often looks like a wilderness, but don't trip. This video isn't to depress you, it's to enlighten you, to remind you that your spiritual path isn't about the crowds, it's about the calling. And sometimes that calling demands separation, not just elevation. As Rumi once said, those who walk with God often walk alone. In this video, we're breaking down 7 dark things that will make chosen ones end up without a partner. Not because you're flawed, but because your energy is rare, your purpose is divine, and your presence is disruptive to the unhealed. By the end of this, you'll see your solitude not as punishment, but as protection. You'll understand why certain people ghost you, why the ones you love can't seem to love you right, and why your very presence can feel like too much for the wrong ones. Chosen ones, the journey isn't easy, but it's worth it. And if you stay with me till the end, I promise you'll walk away with clarity, comfort, and that divine confirmation you've been craving. So grab your spiritual tea, sit back and lean in, because what you're about to hear might finally explain everything. Let's dive in. Point 1. Your light exposes their shadows, chosen ones. Let's get real. Your presence alone shifts the atmosphere. You walk into a room and it's like someone turned on the high beams. People squint, some admire, and others, well, they flinch. Not because you're doing anything loud or flashy, but because your energy is truth. Pure, unfiltered, unapologetic truth. It's not just that you speak with honesty, it's that you carry divine insight. You see people, and not in a surface-level, polite nod kind of way. You see their masks, their wounds, their contradictions. You feel what's not said. That kind of presence doesn't just stir curiosity, it shakes foundations. We live in a world where people claim to value authenticity, but the reality? Most only want honesty if it doesn't rattle their self-image. Your spiritual X-ray vision makes folks uncomfortable. They can't pretend around you. That co-worker who suddenly avoids eye contact, that friend who ghosted without a clear reason, it's not you. It's what they felt you knew. Without saying a word, your spirit reflects their truth back at them. That's not an accusation, it's an invitation, but not everyone is ready for that kind of exposure. Neurologically speaking, humans are wired to protect the ego. The brain's default mode network kicks in when we feel psychologically threatened, making people defensive, even if the threat is simply someone who sees them too clearly. That's you, a walking mirror. And mirrors don't lie. In relationships, this creates 2 responses, magnetic attraction or terrified retreat. You've probably experienced both. That intense stare across the room that feels like fate, that was someone drawn to the light. But that sudden shift in someone who once admired you, that cold withdrawal, that was fear. They caught a glimpse of themselves they weren't prepared to face. You didn't do anything wrong, Earth Angel. You're not too intense or too deep. You're just real. And for people buried in facades, your presence feels like an alarm clock interrupting a deep sleep. So don't dim your light. Don't question your gift. Let them sit with their discomfort. Let them wrestle with what they saw in your reflection. Because your purpose isn't to make people comfortable, it's to awaken souls. And sometimes awakening starts with being a little uncomfortable. Point 2, you don't chase, you attract. Let's unpack this beautiful truth. Divine feminine and divine masculine energy isn't about chasing, performing, or constantly proving your worth. It's about radiating. You don't beg to be seen. You don't audition for love. You are the presence, the energy, the calm in the storm. But here's where society gets it twisted. We've been conditioned to believe that if someone isn't chasing us, fighting for our attention or stirring up chaos to prove they care, then they must be cold or uninterested. That couldn't be further from the truth. Intentional energy is powerful, but it's often misunderstood. In a world addicted to instant gratification, emotional roller coasters, and dramatic love stories, being grounded looks foreign. The average person confuses peace with boredom. They crave the dopamine spikes of inconsistent attention, heated arguments, grand apologies, and passion built on instability. But you bring a different frequency. You don't feed off highs and lows, you sustain. You love with depth, presence, and clarity. That's divine energy. Neuroscience backs this up too. Studies show that people who are used to chaotic environments often associate instability with excitement. It becomes their normal and they subconsciously seek it out. When you enter with balance and self-awareness, it can feel unfamiliar, even dull, to someone still dancing with their unhealed wounds. It's not that you're lacking emotion or passion, it's that you're not trying to entertain dysfunction. And that's where your power lies. You're not indifferent, you're intentional. You observe before you engage. You communicate clearly. You don't need to play games to get someone's attention or manipulate outcomes to feel safe. You've matured beyond that. You're not here to win anyone over with theatrics. You're here to build something real, something lasting, something sacred. The divine feminine and masculine doesn't hustle for validation. It walks in purpose. And those who are aligned with that purpose will recognize your energy as refreshing, not boring. So while others may still be performing for applause or chasing fleeting attention, stand firm in your radiance. Your peace might not be loud, but it is magnetic. And when the noise dies down, you're exactly what they'll remember and what they'll crave. Point 3, you demand growth even without saying it. Chosen ones have a unique, almost magnetic ability to inspire transformation in those around them, whether those people are ready for it or not. It's not about trying to change anyone, but simply by living according to your high standards, maintaining your lifestyle and setting clear boundaries, you naturally create a mirror that forces others to face their own level of growth. This kind of energy doesn't just invite people in. It challenges them to either rise up and match your frequency or step away altogether. You've likely heard or even been told, "You make me feel like I'm not enough." That sting can hit deep, but it's crucial to understand it's not a reflection of you. It's a window into their own internal battles, unhealed wounds and insecurities they haven't faced yet. They aren't accusing you. They're projecting their fears and doubts onto you because your authenticity shines a light on the parts of themselves they've been avoiding. This projection isn't personal, it's a sign of the power your energy holds. Your presence pushes people into accountability, whether they want it or not. You embody self-respect and growth, and by doing so, you set a new baseline that others must acknowledge if they want to stay connected to you. For those who aren't ready to confront their own truth, to heal, or to love fully, including themselves, your authenticity becomes uncomfortable, even threatening. It's not that you are too much, as some might say, rather it's that they are not enough for themselves yet. They see your strength and light and realize it exposes their own shadows. It's a moment of choice for them, either embark on their own journey of self-improvement or distance themselves from your influence. Being a chosen one means you don't dim your light to make others comfortable. Your role is to inspire evolution, not to carry others who refuse to grow. When people step away, it's not rejection, it's a necessary part of their path. Meanwhile, your steadfast energy remains a beacon, calling in those ready to embrace their own power and rise higher alongside you. This is the true essence of leadership through authenticity, uplifting others by simply being unapologetically you. Point 4, you're married to your mission. Let's be real. Your relationship with God, with your purpose, and with divine timing is not some casual side hustle. It's a deep, serious commitment. When you're truly focused on your mission, every distraction, every noise, every demand on your time can feel like a direct threat. Why? Because you've come to understand that success and fulfillment aren't about chasing momentary thrills or quick fixes. They're about honoring a bigger plan, a sacred path laid out just for you. This isn't just discipline, it's sacred devotion. It's saying no to temporary pleasure when it conflicts with your eternal purpose. This kind of focus and unwavering dedication has a magnetic quality. It's deeply attractive to some, but intimidating to most. Why? because it means you're not available for the usual distractions or drama. You don't settle for shallow connections or fleeting approval. Your heart beats to a rhythm that's tuned to something far greater than everyday noise. You prioritize spiritual growth, meaningful work, and divine timing over immediate gratification. And in doing so, you create boundaries that protect your energy and keep you aligned with your destiny. Here's the thing. Most people want to be the center of your world. They want your attention, your time, and your energy. But when your world revolves around destiny, it changes the entire dynamic. This isn't about rejection or shutting people out. It's about alignment. It's about making room for what truly matters and trusting that the right people will respect that. When you live aligned with divine purpose, you attract those who support your growth rather than distract from it. This sacred devotion demands strength, but it also invites grace. It's a balancing act of firmness and flow, knowing when to hold your ground and when to move with divine timing. The more you honor your path, the more you step into your true power. And that power, it's not just about personal success, it's about becoming a beacon of purpose and light for others. So yes, your sacred discipline may scare some people, but to those who truly understand, it's profoundly sexy because it shows you're living on a higher level, devoted to a divine mission that transcends the ordinary. Point 5, you can't fake it. Surface-level conversations, small talk, pretending to be someone you're not, these just don't cut it for the chosen ones. If you're deeply wired to feel and connect on a soulful level, the fake stuff feels like nails on a chalkboard to your spirit. You can't just slap on a smile and nod along when your intuition is screaming that something's off. That inner voice doesn't lie, and it doesn't rest until the truth is clear. Authenticity is your currency. You crave realness because your heart and soul crave connection, not just chatter. Studies in psychology confirm that humans thrive on genuine interaction. Superficial talk leaves the brain craving more meaningful exchanges. For the chosen ones, this craving is amplified. Pretending to be okay when you're not, or feigning interest just to fill silence, creates a disconnect that your spirit can't ignore. It's like trying to breathe underwater, unsustainable and suffocating. And love? Forget about faking that too. You can't make it work when your heart knows the truth. Love isn't a contract to force compliance or a game to win. It's a soulful exchange that requires sincerity. Research in relationship psychology shows that authenticity fosters trust and intimacy, while pretending erodes it. For someone as deeply attuned as you, playing pretend in love doesn't just hurt you. It hurts the very essence of what you're seeking. Because of this refusal to fake anything, settling becomes almost impossible. You're not willing to waste your precious energy on something hollow or untrue. Yes, this might mean spending more time single, but it's a sacred kind of single, a peaceful state where you honor yourself and your spirit. You choose quality over quantity in connections, depth over surface, truth over comfort. In this space of authenticity, you find your true power. You're not settling because you value yourself too much to accept less. And in that refusal to settle, you create room for something real, something aligned with the deepest parts of you. So while the world may rush into shallow waters, you stand firm in your truth, knowing peace is found not in pretending, but in being unapologetically you. Point 6. Your peace is too loud for the broken. Peace is more than just calm. It's a spiritual flex. It's the quiet confidence that doesn't need to raise its voice, prove a point, or entertain drama. But ironically, that kind of peace can be incredibly triggering to those who thrive on chaos. For people who are used to dysfunction, your silence feels louder than a scream. Your stillness, your calm presence, your ability to not react, it unsettles them. Why? Because they equate love with emotional highs and lows. They don't recognize love unless it's loud, messy, and borderline toxic. You've probably seen it happen. You're sitting in serenity, minding your own business, trying to have a healthy conversation or just enjoy the moment, and suddenly someone stirs the pot. They poke, prod, nitpick, anything to disrupt the peace. Not because you've done something wrong, but because they've never learned how to exist in stillness. Chaos is their comfort zone. According to psychologists, people who grew up in high-conflict households often unconsciously recreate drama because it feels familiar. Peace feels boring, or worse, threatening. When you don't take the bait, they don't know what to do with themselves. They'll accuse you of being cold or distant when really you're just healed. You're emotionally sober in a world addicted to extremes. That's powerful, but also rare. And here's where it gets divine. Your peace acts as a mirror. It reflects back to others what they haven't healed within themselves. That's why they leave. But don't mourn them. That's not rejection. It's spiritual filtration. God removes people who can't grow with you, who can't honor the stillness you've fought hard to cultivate. They weren't built for your next level. There's even scientific backing for this. Studies show that people who maintain inner peace and regulate their emotions are more resilient, have healthier relationships, and make better long-term decisions. So no, your calm isn't a weakness. It's a superpower. And it's okay if it makes some people uncomfortable. It just means they're not ready for the energy you're carrying. So stay still, stay grounded, let them throw their tantrums, chase their chaos, and confuse peace with apathy. You know better, you are better. And your peace, that's your power, your protection, and your proof of growth. Point 7, you're being protected from the wrong person. This one hits deep, and if you've ever sat in the aftermath of a connection that just vanished, you know exactly what this feels like. One minute you're building something beautiful, sharing dreams, exchanging energy, and then out of nowhere, silence, ghosted. Doors close, conversations dry up, opportunities slip through your fingers like sand. It's natural to question yourself, to wonder what you did wrong. But chosen one, what if it was never about them being not ready? What if it wasn't even about you? What if God himself was stepping in, not to ruin something, but to rescue you? Let's get real. You've got a calling, a purpose, a light that doesn't just brighten a room, it shifts atmospheres. And that light, while beautiful, attracts both the right and wrong attention. Not everyone who walks into your life is meant to stay. Some come to test, distract, or derail, and sometimes we can't see their true intentions, but God does. He sees the hidden ego behind the charm, the insecurity masked by admiration, the unspoken jealousy dressed up as love. And in his mercy, he removes them before they get access to what they can't honor. That moment when you thought, this is it, and it crumbled, that wasn't rejection, that was protection, divine interception, God whispering, not this one, not now. I've got someone coming who doesn't just bask in your light, but brings their own to the table, someone who adds to your mission, not distracts from it. Your journey is sacred. And sacred journeys require sacred partnerships, ones built on mutual purpose, not just temporary passion. So while the silence might feel like loneliness, it's really divine loyalty. It's God standing guard, shielding you from connections that would have dimmed your fire or delayed your mission. Even science supports this. Psychologists have found that failed relationships early in life often set the stage for healthier, more aligned ones later if we don't lose ourselves in bitterness. So hold the line, don't chase what left, don't resent what never bloomed, trust the delay, trust the divine edits. Sometimes the best yes comes after 1,000 holy no's. Chosen one, don't see the empty space as a void. See it as a reserved seat for someone truly sent by God. Chosen ones, you are not alone, you are set apart. These dark truths, they're just part of your soul contract. Love will find you, but only when it aligns with your assignment. So keep healing, keep glowing, keep walking. And remember, the right person won't dim your light. They'll rise to meet it. Until then, let peace be your partner, purpose be your path, and God be your guide. Stay awake, stay aligned, and stay chosen. Amen. Until next time, stay bold, stay blessed, and stay awake on your spiritual journey.